Live? Are we live? Henry McClure live. But this is the Topeka Factor.
This is the Topeka Factor.
Marshel Barber.
Hello.
The Topeka Factor. So today's topic is Topeka real estate. And who did you talk to?
I talked to Linda Bryden, who's the executive director of the Sunflower Association of Realtors.
And what has she got to say?
Well,
look, he took notes and everything.
This will tell you where the market is right now.
In Topeka, Kansas.
In Topeka. I got to put on my glasses so I can read.
That's
my own
okay.
writing. Right now, now this is just Shawnee County.
And these are residential.
Residential listings. 105 houses.
Okay.
On the market.
And that doesn't seem like
105.
Does that, like in your career of being a real estate guy, that's not a lot of houses.
Well, let's not even talk about career, but
I like careers.
Historically,
like career average. That is historical.
Historically, this has got to be 1930s, 1940s supply. Haven't really researched that point, but I seem to remember most of the time we had 400 to 500 houses on the market.
So how many did you have in 19? You said you had that number.
Here it is. In 2019, August 2019, 3 years ago, we had 320.
320 houses on the market.
As opposed to 105. At this point, we have a median price of 177,200.
Okay.
And I don't have the median price for August of 2019, but I'm sure it was probably 30 or 40,000 below that.
All right, let's talk about pricing for a minute.
Sure.
Because as a commercial real estate guy, I look at price a lot different. I look at real estate as a whole different opportunity. You know, it's not buying a house. To me, real estate's more like a commodity. And my job is to work for people that own real estate and have them to profit from it.
Okay.
You know, it's like we're going to put a certain amount of money in the stock market. We're going to buy gold, you know, and we're going to buy real estate. And they're expecting a return on their investment on the real estate. So
you're going to be like the country of El Salvador and buy Bitcoins.
Well, no, I'm not buying Bitcoin. I'm not in. Well, I do like Ethereum, though. Ethereum is a really interesting technology. You know, you can do contracts out of Ethereum. Ethereum's a cool thing.
Okay, we'll talk about Ethereum sometime.
But listen, so you had mentioned that some people were giving you grief about the price of one of your listings. And I don't agree with the grief.
I have a tendency to state things somewhat hyperbolically when I said I was getting beat up over my list price. That's not really necessarily the objective reality, but people looking at this particular house.
What did you? There were some $5 words in that, but go on.
Okay, so.
So we just toured 1436.
1436 Southwest Lakeside.
And which I love. Did you look up there and did you see the leaded glass light?
Oh yeah, sure.
And then did you see off to the right the address that's backlit?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
There's lots of touches like that.
You could be driving, and we'll get some video. We'll put below this. We made a video, a live video, a walkthrough, and we can put that link underneath this show. Mm-hmm. But you know what I say when I look at that house? If you don't have the money, go away. You know, so what? It's $399, $99, $99. But it's an opportunity. It's for somebody to buy an address. It's for somebody to buy the opportunity to live in one of Topeka's best neighborhoods, safest neighborhoods, and make that place a show place.
I like what you said. You said something like, if you've got the money, you can buy your future.
Yeah, you can buy a better future.
Yeah.
You can. And so think about how fun it would be, because there are some people out there that have an unlimited checkbook. Mm-hmm. Think about it. And those are the people I want to know.
And what is the point of having money
if you're not spending it?
What is the point of having?
I mean, why not live right?
It's security, sure, but past a certain point, how much money do you really need? VS, how much are you going to invest in yourself, your family, your surroundings, et cetera?
And so that kind of that actually kind of segues into why I moved back to Topeka, was because it was a good place to travel. You know, you can get different places.
From here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm renovating a place downtown, and I'm going to make it to where I can walk out the door, and centrally located, I can get around to different communities because I'm not going to be bound just by the Topeka market. Because for what I do, my game plays anywhere.
You're kind of applying a modified work from home concept to a business model.
Well, yes.
Being able to do business from here, but not limited to what is here.
Right. I mean, I traveled at one time for the Macerich Company nationwide. It was actually really good for my marriage because, like, if we were having trouble at home, I could just take a trip. You know what I mean? And, I could travel.
Thank you, counselor.
Oh, hey, I'm going to get Pellegrino as one of our advertisers, so I'm going to work on that.
Marital problems, call your travel agent. And, get out of
Hey, marital problems, take a business trip. Stay gone long enough till whatever it was blew over and come back home.
Yeah.
But, so I loved your listing, and to me, my little brain's working like, who would buy that? I look at and I love going to Home Depot and being a pro. I love being part of the project. I like wearing the work boots and working the Sawzall and, running the screw gun. To me, it's fun. And what I'm really looking forward to living downtown is that, well, this is going to be a renovation that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to get the benefit of it. And I signed a 10-year lease. And so we'll have Henry McClure living here and then MCRE up in the front.
All right.
So we'll have some office space, studio space.
10 years can go by in a hurry.
Well, I'm going to start looking at life in decades.
It seemed like 2012 was just a minute ago.
2012. Yeah, what were you doing in 2012?
I was selling real estate in Topeka, Kansas.
So was I, but I can't remember what deal I was working on.
Oh, I can't either.
2012. I have a bad concept of time no matter what.
Well,
so let's talk about your listing real quick.
in 1436
Yes.
Southwest Lakeside, this house would have been built around 1930, 1929, 1928 by Tinkham Veal's go-to builder, Clyde Smalley Sr. Tinkham Veal, as many of us know, with a gentleman named Lynn Scott, were the co-developers of Westboro originally. Apparently, Tinkham Veal had a background with the J.C. Nichols Company,
Oh, okay.
developers of the Country Club Plaza in the Kansas City, Missouri area. And so some of the architecture that you see in the Westboro Mart reflects the architecture.
It sure does. I've always looked at it like a little plaza.
And then Tinkham Veal's personal residence at the corner of, 15th and Pembroke? No, Shadow Lane and Pembroke.
Where's that?
His personal residence very definitely reflects the architecture of the Country Club Plaza.
Now, is
It's on
that Marvin Spee's old house or current house?
That's where he lives now.
Hey, that was a good guess.
Excellent guess. And
If you
before
can't
that,
be smart, be lucky.
I think John Hayes lived there, and the Munns owned it for a really long time.
I like that house, that brick house right across the corner.
Yeah.
I lived basically at about 20th in Pembroke.
Righto, over in Westwood.
Yes, Westwood.
Yeah, that's another. You mentioned neighborhoods in Topeka, and Westboro is certainly the preeminent neighborhood, but the neighborhoods right around Westboro are great.
Well, yeah, Westwood's a
as well.
great neighborhood. Collins Park is close.
Right.
Great.
These are neighborhoods for people who prefer older construction to, say, the newer construction.
And that's where. So let's go off Clyde's craftsmanship. So the the bones of that house, the skeleton is great. And so what? You put 200,000 or more into the renovation, and you've got that will hold value in time, if you
You're
ask
set
me.
for life.
Yeah.
You're literally set for life.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. So when excuse me.
It's what people call, it doesn't have to be this, but it's what some people would refer to as a forever house.
Yeah.
These people, the present owners who've gone into assisted living, and that's why they're selling, they have lived there since the early 70s. And the owners before them, I'm not thinking were the original owners, but they could have been. There've been at most maybe 3 owners.
Well,
of this
actually, you
property.
can look on Shawnee County's website and track it back.
Yeah.
Sales.
Yeah.
That's where.
Or if I'm really feeling ambitious, I can go down to the Topeka room at the library and look things up in Old City directory.
I like that
And,
room.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know, it's about like I wanted to do some research on the dirt,
Oh,
and and the soils book doesn't leave that. You know, any book in the Topeka room doesn't leave that room.
right.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's the Topeka factor. Just uncovering another tidbit about Topeka. So that's why they have all those nice chairs up there.
Yeah, I found that out when I tried to leave the Topeka room with an armload of books.
See, there you go. There you go. Well, so Marshall, I like your listing there.
It's 2 stories. Actually, it's 2.5 stories, counting the attic.
Man, that attic, you could do some,
Yeah,
imagine
it's a walk-up attic, plenty of storage,
you could
dry storage.
you could renovate that attic and have a space, have some really interesting space, like if you were a painter,
Yeah, if you're
a writer,
it'd make a great artist studio.
yeah, or like a Pilates yoga room.
They have a total of 4 bedrooms on the second floor and 2 what we call ensuite bathrooms, as well as a hall bathroom, which is also a Jack and Jill bathroom between 2 of the bedrooms.
Yes.
So you've got 3 full baths on the second floor and then a half bath on the main floor.
And I tell you, if I lived there, I'd probably move back to the east ensuite.
Yeah.
Because I want to get, I want to, the east, the sun to wake me up and get me rolling.
Now, yeah.
The feng shui.
Yeah, we got to have that.
You got to have feng shui.
I think I've got some in this bottle of water here. But someone had told me, I think it was Helen Crow.
I like Helen Crow.
That, a couple of her listings in Westboro had sold to Airbnb people. And so I'm not saying that this is definitely the highest and best use for this house, but it's a possibility.
No, that's for somebody, it's for some young couple that have got some bucks and want to go in, and this is a case where you hire a designer, hire an architect, and really do some space planning. And, whatever money you put into that house over your lifetime, you'll get it back. And but plus, more importantly, why not just enjoy it today?
I think sometimes people in the real estate industry perhaps become overly obsessed with return on investment. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's also a more intangible value of what is it worth to live in surroundings that you enjoy living in for X number of years, whether it be 2 years or 25 years. How do you put a price tag on that?
And that's the exact mindset I'm taking as I'm renovating my space. I'm putting more money into my bathroom and then next the kitchen. But so you'll be able to walk, so you walk into the walk-in closet that's going to have the washer and dryer, place to hang up, shelves. Then you walk into the bathroom and sink, toilet, and then like a walk-in shower, where it rains,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I want elbow room. I've been living I've been living very humbly over in Raintree Apartments, and then I can walk to work right across the street. My office is right across the street, but now I just want some elbow room, and I'm looking forward to getting my office down there eventually. But I'm really looking forward to taking advantage of downtown Topeka and all the money that they've sunk in downtown.
Whose phone is that?
That's mine. You want to just turn it off or
Okay.
like reject the call? Sorry. Was it anybody important? Oh, Kevin Holland is important, but I'll get to him.
Kevin wants to talk to the Topeka Factor.
We need him
maybe
on
we
the
should
Topeka
accommodate him.
Factor. All right, so while we were at Westboro today, I met your partner in Plass.
In another house.
Yes, that we've toured.
921
Yes.
Southwest Plass.
And so have you had any showings on 921 since?
We do not have it on the MLS.
Oh, it's not ready yet?
It's not on the open market yet. We're getting carpeting put in tomorrow, which, by the way, is going to be a higher grade of carpeting.
How would we know that you were thinking about a lower grade?
I'm not going to get into specifics, but I've seen some flip houses as they.
But we're not using the word flip.
Well, I prefer nomenclaturally. The preferred nomenclature is turnaround. But
I like that word nomenclature. When I
was.
Is it just some guy named Norman Clature
Yeah.
that walks around decides that decides what vernacular to use?
Yeah, actually, it's no men clature. It's sort of a feminist thing.
Oh, no men?
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's no nomenclature.
Oh, all right. So it's NOMEN?
Right.
CLA.
All right. Well, see, it's like Freddie DeCorbita.
It's like okay. Here's our big Lebowski reference for today.
Okay, and I've never seen this show, so I'm going to have to go watch it.
But Nick has seen the Big Lebowski, so he might catch this. There's a point in which
They couldn't make the TV work over there.
they couldn't.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry.
Sorry, Big Lebowski.
Okay, Big Lebowski. I believe it was the dude who used the term Chinaman, and Walter Sobchak goes, dude, the preferred nomenclature these days is Asian American. So that's the actual use. That's using the word nomenclature in a sentence.
Okay. And see, I learned something today. The Topeka Factor, I always thought it was Norman, like some guy named Norman Clature. Yeah, and he was the guy that walked around deciding. It's like Blackwell when it comes to fashion. And Norman was as it came to speech.
Or Gladwell when it comes to Freakonomics.
Or Einstein when it comes to theory of relativity.
Oh yeah,
Come on, keep going.
I know it. Here's an interesting fact about Topeka.
Okay, let's hear it. What do you got? Topeka Factor.
Violent crime drops in 2021, and it turns out that violent crime has dropped in Kansas, hence Topeka, for the first time in 8 years. And this is from KBI crime statistics for 2021, year over year. The number of violent crimes dropped 3.4%, while the per capita rate dropped 2.1%. So, again, if you're watching the Topeka Factor from a different location, maybe a higher crime location, this is another good reason to consider moving to Topeka.
All right, so we've talked about the carpet upgrade, and we've talked about.
Turnaround as opposed to flip. That's where we got into the whole thing about nomenclature.
So what else? What else do we want to discuss in this episode? This
921.
You know what? I want to talk. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
I'm driving around Topeka, and I look up, and I'm at 10th and Topeka Boulevard, and I see this sign, and it says, "Call about this sign."
Oh, that sign.
Tell me about how many phone calls are you getting off that sign?
Well, I'd like to talk about that, but I'm not gonna, no.
Oh, well, why wouldn't you?
That sign could be
We
for
get some
rent.
comedy out of this show. Huh?
That sign could be for rent. I'm gonna say the people,
You know, some guy did that the other day on a TV show.
what?
He goes, I'd like to talk about that, but I'm not going to. And then he didn't. Wait,
10 seconds?
we got 10 minutes or seconds?
10 minutes.
All right,
10
we're
minutes,
10
okay.
minutes.
So that billboard, we kind of jumped the gun on the optics there. We think it's going to be for rent, and it'll be about $1,000 a month. But at this time, the present occupant of that building still has the right to rent that billboard until we have it in writing that they're not going to.
Okay.
And this is I was going to say inside baseball. This is more of a Topeka factor inside commercial real estate question for our esteemed commercial broker here.
All right, so let's do this. Let's
Okay.
phase out of this episode
We'll phase out.
now, and then we'll come back and we'll change the topic to commercial real estate.
And
Anything
restaurant
else you want to
space.
close on?
Well,
Now, can we get her on the Topeka Factor?
921 Southwest Plass, which gets the new carpet tomorrow. We're getting the ductwork. By the way, if you're looking at houses
Right,
with your agent,
right.
if you have a buyer's agent, an alleged buyer's agent, you might just ask your agent to ask the seller if they had the ductwork cleaned out.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just ask him.
Man, because like
Also,
I'm a clean air freak.
Ask them, have you had the dryer vents cleaned recently?
All right, so
Nothing more disappointing than coming home from the store to find that the house that you were buying groceries for is just burned to the ground because you never cleaned out the
so
dryer
the
vents.
Topeka Factor, I can't think of anything more important than cleaning out the ductworks while you're at it.
And your dryer vents.
Yes, okay. All right, so we're going to close on that.
921 Plass.
We're going to take a little break. We'll post 921 link, our tour, and 426 link underneath in the comments.
Sure,
And then subscribe to the Topeka Factor.
please,
We love you.
we do.